Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to announce tonight's guest. It is Mr. Lance Revera, the Playboy himself. How are we doing, dude? You good?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Hey, up 5 by 5. All good. Looking forward to this chat because anybody who knows anything about wrestling knows of yourself, knows of the matches you've done, you know, all the awesome things you've been involved in, really. So I think we've got some good stuff to talk about, and it's just always nice to pick your brain and see what's going on as well.
You're far too kind. Anyone who knows wrestling knows me. I feel like I've hit a level there. You've proper hyped me up then.
It's what I do, dude. It's what I do. I wouldn't have you on the show, you know, if I didn't think it was you was worthy kind of thing. So it's generally a pleasure, dude, because I mean, you don't get to have a banging match against RPD for a title if you're not, you know, of a certain level. You definitely don't get to wrestle Doug Williams if you're not at a certain level. That's just two things I can mention. So, dude, you're doing something right.
I think so at this point. Maybe.
It's all about the hype, dude. You know, it's you guys do what you do. This is my way of showing appreciation. You're not allowed to wear Lance Revera t-shirts at Odyssey, I've been told.
You're not meant to, but do it anyway.
I think it was somebody told me a story. I think Elliot had one, and apparently he was just stood in the queue, and somebody turned around and was like, "That t-shirt, we're not like that here." It was like, "Oh, is it still real in Morecambe?"
It is still real in Morecambe. I had people crying when they thought I'd won the title the other back in December. People were walking out early. I'm stood there with the belt celebrating, and people, I'm like, "Whoa, come on!" And then there was loads of people cheering as well. So it was very 50-50 at that point.
Ooh, becoming the guy that's just, it's they love to hate. You've kind of got that, you know, such a good heel. Like you're actually getting people's respect now.
Yeah, a little bit. Become problematic. I'm gonna have to start doing something. I'll have to just stab RPD. That just end it there.
Mate, anything, you know. Yeah,
true heat.
Just you and Marcus, get a few other guys. I'll never endorse it because I love RPD. You know, top guy. But you know, if you need to get the heat, yeah, we've said previously, you know, that he could run for mayor.
This is what Rick Marcus said about him, though. This is what Rick Marcus said about RPD. He had his back, and then look what he did to him. So I'm getting the same vibe from yourself.
Yeah, well, you know, it's wrestling. Never say never. Always expect the unexpected. So, talking of Odyssey, though, I love bigging that promotion up whenever I get a chance to do so. You sort of said there, you know, you're getting a few cheers now as well as a few boos. How do you find Odyssey? Is it? I can only imagine. Everybody I know that I've spoken to just says it's like electric. You know, it is just an unreal promotion. You know, to work.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely fantastic. Been there since the year. It was the first match of the first show. Me and Rick Marcus, and yeah, it's I've loved my time there. Every opportunity I get to go up there, it's fantastic. And the crowd, as much as they say they don't like me, I know they love me. So
they love to hear you. Like I say, you've been there from day one. They might not like you, but they've got to at least respect you.
It's not even that they respect me. They do all secretly love me. I know they do.
Tell you what, there's going to be a Lance face turn on the cards at some point. That would be like the ultimate shocker. RPD heel turn, Lance face turn. Just completely throw shit to the wind and just be like, right, let's go.
In all honesty, I think they'd burn the fucking place down if that happened.
It's just forks and
fucking tribal dancing. Tribal dancing round. We'd go to some kind of medieval times.
It'll be like something out of the Wicker Man. There'll just be like a massive RPD wooden statue just set afire and just like chanting and stuff going on. It'd be crazy.
No, that's I think that's pretty spot on. It'll be next to the Morecambe statue from Morecambe and Wise.
The thing is, that in my head, I've got it. I'm just like, oh, in some crazy multiverse somewhere, that shit's going down at some point. But yeah, obviously, talk about RPD as well. We're talking about Morecambe. Wrestle Island is another promotion I love to talk about. I love to. I think you've got some amazing talent there, and obviously, I know you're two-time Wrestle Island champion.
I am. A long part of my career there, actually, as well. As long as I've been wrestling, has been there for a long time. A two-time Wrestle Island champion, soon to be a three-time. As soon as I get my hands on RPD again, since I've won the Rumble.
It's always
me and him just joined at the hip, I think. Yeah. We just joined at the hip. What can I say? We're stuck together.
Steel sharpens steel, I think the saying is. Yeah, Wrestle Island. Again, it's kind of one of those places, as much as we're talking about Odyssey and you being in Morecambe. Again, it's like it's got a huge community. I love what Wrestle Island do for the community. They do so much charity work and stuff. But again, YouTube doesn't really do it justice, I'm sure. But again, I can imagine when you come out and you're just feeding off of the fans, it's got to be one of those promotions that it's awesome to go for and work at.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fantastic because there's never a show where they don't sell out. Like the whole place is full every time. And it's just one of them where they built such every time and they want to know what's happening.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, the thing is, you've kind of got this character now as well where the fans can kind of relate to you. So I'll do the generic thing. We'll get that out of the way sort of early doors. So obviously, it sort of says that you kind of started in about 8 years ago, 2016.
Starting in 2015, just after I turned 16.
Wow.
So it's been 9 years this year.
Wow, dude. So what was it that sort of, as I like to word it, what made you take the steps through the doors in the first place? What sort of a diehard wrestling fan from a young age, or just got talked into it, just something you fancied doing? What made you sort of look up schools and take that first step?
So I used to watch it with my brother growing up, and then I just kept watching it on my own after he moved out. And then, handily enough, I've got this right here. This was the first video that I had.
Wow.
Came prepared. That was the first video I had. Rock, Know Your Role. And I used to watch it all the time. I used to take it everywhere. If I went to stay with my granddad, I'd take it with me there and put it on the video player. I'd have a video player everywhere, and then they also put it on anywhere I could. And yeah, just as I grew up, I was like, I should really give this a go at some point. Just one of them. We're all just fans that took it a bit too far.
That's it. That's why nothing but respect, because that's I count myself as a wrestling fan. But yeah, you guys, like, your fans, and then you just kind of went and took it to the next level. You're like, right, we're going to do this. You've got the determination to do it. How was it finding the school? I mean, obviously, I think by that point, more and more schools had started opening up. Was you kind of spoiled for choice, or did you have to travel far for the first school?
So the first place I ever trained was FutureShock. I had my first ever training session there. So obviously I travelled up to Manchester, which isn't too far to get to. But then a school opened up around the area that I'm in Cheshire, and I was able to start going there. And I did so for from 2015, about 5 years I was there. 2020, yeah.
Nice. So do you kind of tend to find yourself popping into the temple? Are you imparting words of wisdom on it? Are you at that point now where you kind of, you sort of say, you started when you're 16, but you've kind of been around for like, 8-9 years now. So even at a young age, you still kind of, I'd count you as an experienced hand.
Yeah, so I train mostly at FutureShock. That's where I train. And then I do go into the temple every now and again. I take training there when I'm not wrestling or I train there. Sometimes if he asks me down, I'm usually there.
Nice. That's two awesome schools straight off kind of thing. FutureShock, again, love FutureShock. Some amazing people down there doing what they do. The temple, obviously, I've spoken to a handful of people from the temple. No, Sean. They're actually churning out the talent at the minute. So, but like I say, we've gone that when you started the training, I called you like the Playboy, when the episode started. You've kind of got this character developed. How did that come about? Was that sort of, you had that in your mind straight away, or has it kind of developed over a few years? Did you start off with something else and it wasn't working?
Do you know what? Strangely enough, I was at a seminar once with D'Lo Brown, and he asked this question to the whole group. He was like, "How many of you have never changed your gimmick or changed your name or anything?" And because his point was that everyone goes through change. Rather sheepishly, I had to go, no. So when I first started, I was the show was it was a rumble show, as typical how you start off. So then I went to training the next day, and someone who was very influential on me in training was Michael Matt Fox, and he was just churning out nicknames at me, and he knew I was like Dolph Ziggler, all of them, and he just started calling me the Playboy Prince, and he was using this old like 80s style commentary, calling me the Playboy Prince, professional wrestling, Lance Revera, and all this, and I was like, oh, it's done. I was like, signed, sealed, delivered. I said, that's mine. I'm keeping it, and that was it. And then I ended up listening to a bit too much Arctic Monkeys, and got the idea of having a leather jacket and sunglasses indoors. And the rest they say is history, and that was it. It just stuck.
Nice. But I was thinking it's one of those kind of characters, you're not kind of set. It's not set in stone. You can always adjust it if needs be. You can work it. You can change it, if needed at any point in the future, kind of thing. It's not like you're limited. Basically, you've got a lot of options, and you could still remain the Playboy character. I don't think you're not going to veer too much off the path.
No, it's just me. It's just over the years it's developed, and like I went from wearing this leather jacket, and then I just wore denim jackets a lot, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to start wearing this to the ring with me. And then it was like for a while I was wearing a Paisley's track jacket as well, because I'm like big into like Liam Gallagher and all that. It was a pretty green zip up track jacket, and I was like, I'll wear that for a bit. And then it developed to the denim jacket, and it just kept going. And yeah, so it's just extensions of me, like the things I throw in. If you go on my Twitter or my Instagram or whatever to watch Man United, it's what I do. It's just a vibe now. I just vibe it out, and people can take it however they want. But it's just fun now.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's what it should be. It's a character, even though as much as its source is kind of from you. It's you turned up to 11 or you turned up to 12. But you've got to have fun. You've got to have fun with it as well. Otherwise you're going to get bored very quickly. But it kind of feels like you're pulling off the elements, and
I think that's because what's the point in pigeonholing yourself? Like, I've got a distinct character. Everyone knows you wear the name of the Playboy Prince of Professional Wrestling, your girlfriend's favourite wrestler, and all that, and you go, oh, well, I understand it. And then the rest of it's just added extras, like it's just whatever. I find like a lot of people who have characters, it ends up being like it's just a character. Like you look at the 80s, like Bruce the Barber Beefcake, like everyone loves it, but it was like, what does he do when he's not a barber? Where does he go at night? kind of a loss. Can be a lot of that, having been distinct but being real.
Yeah.
Because I take a lot, when I think of stuff like this, I think about that video of The Rock that I've got. And part of it's like, because obviously it shows all of him wrestling in his bits where he's come where he used to play college football. The Miami Hurricanes, I play football. This is what I did. And like, this is where The Rock gets his haircut. And you're like, especially now with so much access to people with social media and stuff, like, it's the same. I think it's the same as me watching that video going, oh my God, that's where The Rock goes and gets his haircut. And his hair going, oh yeah, it's just, I'm not some jabroni who has a $2 haircut. Look at this. This is where I get my clothes. This is where The Rock gets his $500 shirt from.
Selling the character, creating the character, selling the character, and making it feel legit, kind of thing.
Yeah, because no one believes, like, if I'm the Playboy Prince and I'm coming out slathered up in baby oil and gyrating in front of everyone, everyone's going to be like, well, that's not real, is it? He's not a person.
That's it. Yeah, you kind of taken them out of that suspension of disbelief. There's suspension of disbelief, and then there's just like, no. So you've kind of got to toe that line of being like, right, okay. Don't want to go too far. Yeah. Obviously, I kind of want to, be a character. I want to sort of create this kind of personality. But yeah, dude, you take it too far, like you just sort of said. The fans are going to sit there and be like, nope. I mentioned it earlier, the list of people I've noticed before, you was involved in a tag match with Santino Marella. What was that like? That would have been like totally just like, oh shit, it's the dude with the cobra.
Yeah. Do you know what? Benjamin Harland, who I believe was on the other week with Knudsen, and he was going, "You never told me about this match. You never said you were going to be in this match." And I was like, "What are you on about?" So I've gone and looked at the FutureShock page, and there it is. I'm wrestling Santino Marella, and I'm like, "Whoa, okay." I remember when this guy debuted on TV, and that's pretty cool, that, isn't it? I was like, "Whoa, all right, here we go. It's getting a bit real here."
That's it, though. But again, I mentioned it earlier about wrestling people. People don't get put into certain matches until they can be trusted, until they reach a certain level. And I think any chance you get to work with somebody, like an import like that, a big name of something that used to be on TV, that to me is a massive sort of pat on the back. That's an acknowledgement of the level you are at that, at that point.
Yeah, I know, and I felt like that too when I got told, and I felt like that when I wrestled Joe Connors as well, and I felt like that when I wrestled Doug Williams. Like, you feel like you've been trusted with a big moment, because these people aren't just coming in to wrestle anyone. They're going to be in the main event. They're what people are coming to watch, and if you get to wrestle them, then it's part you're getting that exposure as well. And if someone's putting that trust into you, do that and be that guy, then it's just great.
That's it, man. It's just massive. Just give yourself a pat on the back. The whole Doug Williams thing, because I mean, Doug's a huge name. I think he's the ambassador for British wrestling, kind of thing. Had stints all over the place. How did you find working him? Was you able to sit down with him beforehand, afterwards? Did you pick his brain a little bit? Did you sort of just totally absorb any information?
Yeah, no, it was just a fantastic experience of the whole thing, and I was like, I used to watch you on TV as well, and I just told him, I was like, I used to watch you all the time, and he was like, oh, thanks. Well, yeah, I don't know. I was on TNA, and I'm like, yeah. And I was like, this is great, and it was great to be able to talk to him, and it was great to work with him, and it's one of them where you learn so much, like just how he took to it, how he was just he wasn't bothered, like not in a bad way, but he was like, yeah, this is just what I do, and this is what I'm good at, and I know that I'm good at it. So it was no point where it was like I was worried because I was like, oh my God, I'm wrestling. He was just like, yeah, this is what it is. And everything was smooth sailing. Everything was fine.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
it just felt like it was something you could do every single night.
Dude, that must be good though. When you like sort of say, if you feel that comfortable and it flows that easy, that you're just like, if I did this every single night, it's not work anymore. It's it's just fun and it's easy.
Yeah, especially when you're wrestling for so long, you don't notice these people where I could wrestle you every night. That could be this is like the easy. It takes something. You have to have that right chemistry. And you have to click, and you only get it with certain people. Like that feeling where you go, yeah, nothing could like go wrong, and even if it did, you could look to them and they could look to you, and you'll fix it.
That's it. You know what each other's sort of thinking. Like, yeah, if there's a bit of a misstep, they'll know you well enough to be able to cover for it. The casual fans just not going to notice it, and then back to normal, crack on as it was.
Yeah, exactly.
I think obviously talked RPD earlier. So I was looking through, like I said before, matches. I noticed you've been in the ring a few times with Joey Hayes. I've also mentioned him. I was picking up Doug Williams. For me, Joey's like one of the best guys in this country, kind of thing. I absolutely love Joey. Again, I can just presume that was just a learning curve. When you get in the ring with him, working with him, or being in a match with him and Danny Hope. Moments like that are the ones where you just want to pick stuff from. Yeah.
No, it's those are the matches. There's Joey, there's Chris Ridgway, there's Sam Bailey, all these people you get to work with the Ashton Smith as well. You learn so much, and you just pick things up, and you go, right, well, I'll take this and I'll take that, and it just makes everything easier. And then you take all of that and you can take it and make it your own, or I'll take this match and I'll put it here and I'll put it there and we'll do whatever. Yeah, you've always got something to learn. It doesn't matter where you are, because say signed by WWE and everyone's like, oh, you're hot shit, you're the best thing ever. Well, you've gone from to going into the sea, and you're like, there's always going to be someone. You're that good. You go to NXT, you get signed. Well, there's Shawn Michaels there, and there's Triple H, and there's everyone backstage, and you go, well, you start again. It's always starting again.
Always learning.
You've got to be, and if you're not, and you think the job's done, that's when you become complacent. It's like Kobe Bryant said, the job's never done. When they asked him, "Oh, you're up to nothing in the series. Why aren't you happy?" And he's like, "Was the job done?" I don't think so.
That's it, exactly. So, and that's it, man. I think that's again, it seems for everybody I've spoken to, that's just a good mentality. You kind of, whether you've been in the business for 1 year, you've been in the business for 10 years or 20 years, there's always something to learn. There's always something new, or there's always something that can be improved. You think you can be the nuts at something, and then somebody else comes along, does it a little bit different, and it's like, actually, that's a bit better. Okay, right, teach me.
Yeah, like there's lads coming through now that have been wrestling nowhere near as long as I have. There's a lad, he's in FTM and Pritchie, and there's Pud and Christy Quinlan as well. And I learned stuff from them. Christy, when he first started training, and he was, I think, 13, 14, and now he's 20, and we're wrestling each other, and he's telling me stuff, and I'm going, oh, that's well cool. I wrestled Pud at Off the Page a few months ago, and me and him are there going through everything, and I'm going, yeah, but what about this? And I go, yeah, and I remember Pud's very first session wrestling, and but before he could even join the actual adult classes when he was starting in the youth classes that we had back then. I remember that, and I'm now going, oh yeah, you show me this.
Dude, you wrestled some of the promotions you've worked at. We're talking like, top tier promotions. So, you said at the start of the episode, I was bigging you up. Again, I'll give you another example. I said you don't get to wrestle X, Y, and Z. You don't get to work like TNT. You don't get to work Wrestle Carnival, like Infamous, promotions like that without being as good as you are, kind of thing. What was Wrestle Carnival was always a promotion that kind of I liked the look of. I never got to see, unfortunately, but I can presume the atmosphere. And again, just being involved in that was something very cool.
Yeah, it was. It was a fantastic place to work. I really enjoyed my time there, and I was gutted when they've taken a hiatus and everything. I was gutted because it was great, and I really enjoyed it. And the setup there was great, and the people backstage were great, and it was just a good environment to be in. And then the crowd was great as well. The place was always full. I wasn't ever looking out in the crowd and going, "Oof, where is everyone?" No, it was always full, and everyone was exactly full in the Christian. It was just fantastic. It was a fantastic place.
That's it, man. But like I said, I'm not blowing smoke. You don't get to work for promotions like that unless you bring something to the table, unless you offer the promoter something that justifies, you taking that spot. And you do that with the Playboy character. So there you go. That's again me giving you some flowers.
Thank you. You're making me blush.
Dude. But I mean, obviously, wrestling after dinner. Would love to see you over in Yorkshire a little bit more. I think there's some promotions over here that could definitely benefit from a Playboy experience. Having the Playboy of professional wrestling turn up.
Hey, if they want me, they can have me. I'm more than happy to come up. It's been a long time since I've been up that way, and if they want to have me back up anytime. Anyone, just they know where I am. They know where I am. Twitter's always open. My DMs are open. That's a poor advertisement there. Some weirdos. I can see the weirdo. I can see you watching this.
No, hopefully nobody watching this is a weirdo. So your DMs are safe. But yeah, that's the thing. I think
I welcome all the weirdos into my DMs. Don't worry.
But dude, that'd be amazing. I'd just like
bring on your weirdest stuff.
Oh, dude, you just mate, seriously. If I hear from you in a week's time and be like, I seriously regret saying that on that episode now, and then just be like, some of the stuff I'm getting sent is just freaking. It's going to be a collection of words.
Whatever it is, I'm gonna resend it to you too. Don't worry.
I'll be like, no,
full detail what it is.
I'll be begging for my eyesight to go again. I'm like, no, House of 1,000 Corpses, but freaking.
Delete our Twitters after
this. We'll talk. Well, before you do, let's talk about, because obviously, you're mentioning like social media. It kind of came up before. I'm obviously a massive advocate for it. I think it's a great source for. It's free. It lets people see what you're doing. It lets people see what you've been doing. It lets people see how awesome you are, kind of thing. What's your take?
I just post whatever. I try not to up too much, but I keep it within the realms of what I'm doing. And to be fair, I won't post anything else anyway because it's just me. I'm just having fun. It's the same as I was saying before. It's just I'll post about or I'll post pictures of me wrestling, and I'll post pictures of me going to watch the football, and I'll tweet about football, and I'll tweet about the shows I'm on, and I'll tweet about whatever. And I think it's just a good tool for everyone. If you don't push your shows, promoting what you're doing, what's the point in even doing it? If no one's going to, if a tree falls down in the woods, does it make a sound? If a wrestler doesn't post what show they're at, will anybody be there?
if you don't take a picture at the gym, have you actually been to the gym?
Exactly.
But that's so that was kind of went around the house there, but that was the point I was trying to get to. Yeah, the importance of social media kind of thing, and obviously, with your account, you've got the crown, you've got the little emojis after the name. It's just little things like that, little touches, I think, that just kind of make it feel legit, make it feel like you kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've always thought that. I always wanted to you just got to stand out, and you got to people notice, and if people don't, you aren't doing things to make people notice. Again, there's just no point if you're just being generic and I'm just here to make up the numbers. You don't want to just be part of the crowd.
So you need to sort of get yourself noticed, make people be like, hang on a minute. Because I always think as well, especially with like social media, is if you've got a decent social media game, that's got to a promoter's more likely to book you because they're going to be like, well, this guy's going to promote my show for me, kind of thing as well. He's strong at what he does on there. If he's got X amount of followers, they are now going to be more aware of what I'm doing as a promoter because he's on my show. Again, I'm just, I'm on this side of the curtain. I don't know 100%, but that is how my mindset would work.
Yeah, no, I'm not a promoter. Kind of just guess at it sometimes and be like, right, what do people want from me? What do I think people would want? And I'm the same. I'm like, if I'm announcing a match, I want people to know that I'm on that show. I want people to come and I want them to be excited to see my show or the person I'm wrestling. Like, I want people to want me to get beaten.
Random thing for you as well. Like I mentioned earlier, looking on Cage Match and stuff. They don't actually have a record of you losing the Wrestle Island title to RPD. I'll just give you the heads up on that. So technically, according to Cage Match, that match never happened. You never lost the title.
I've noticed that. I have seen it. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so when I went over to Belgium a few months ago, someone from over there was promoting the show, and I think that because this is why I looked, because I think they went on Cage Match, got all my stuff and started writing a thing about it, and they said, "Oh, he's the Wrestle Island champion," and I was, "Am I? What?" So I went and had a look because I was like, "Where have they got all this from?" Because they could have either got it off my socials. If you got it off my socials, they'd have known that I'd lost. So I was like, I had a quick look and I was like, "Oh no, I am still Wrestle Island champion. Sick." Yeah. I need to tell RPD though. I need to give him a belt back.
Get another one made up, mate. We can have like a ladder match at some point for the, like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon style. Both of you walking around with belts. I'll declare you on social media as still the Wrestle Island champion. I'll risk the wrath of RPD and I'll declare you there. As in, that's it. You never lost it. It's still champion. A future ladder match.
There we go.
That's it. But it's crazy though. Like I said, just the amount of people that use that as like references and things. And if something's missing, dude, it throws a spanner in the works. And you're just like I said, I knew that you wasn't because I've shared that match numerous times. From Wrestle Island, I've seen it, I've watched it numerous times. But yeah, I was second guessing myself. Like, hang on a minute. No. Yeah, you did lose it. Belgium though, what's that like?
Belgium was great. Fantastic to get to go over there. We got to work on those shows. It was fantastic being out there. It's a different experience to being over here because so you fly out there and you're there to wrestle. And you feel like that's it. You're there for what you've done, basically for like you're there just for a specific job, and you're there to be you. And it's fantastic. I loved it.
Nice. Obviously, I remember early days of the show. I had somebody on. They were kind of like of Belgium heritage. They kind of learned the trade over in Belgium, the bull. And he was saying, I jokingly changed the name of the show for the one episode for him to work the right side, because apparently over there they work the right side, not the left side. Is that true? Did you kind of, or did they sort of, did you have to totally mix everything up, or did they just kind of work with you?
No, I didn't have any of that. Everyone worked the left. I didn't have anyone working the right. That one for you, sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just checking, because I was just kind of like, oh, okay. I always kind of wonder, you know, whether like sort of whether it's just certain promotion, whether it's a national thing. Because I know obviously, you know, like in Mexico, you know, they work the right. In other countries,
Yeah.
it varies. I always kind of wonder, like, you know, when you go over, do you change for them, or do they have to kind of change for you, or do you kind of just meet in the middle and just, you know, work central? I don't know.
Well, I've never
encountered it.
That, because it is more of a lucha. It's more of a lucha thing to work the right and the right. But then, if you are going to work that side, you just adapt to it all. That is what you do. You just go with it, because everything you can do on the left side, you can do on the right side, and you just go with it. You just work with it, and it's just part of the job. You just got to adapt and overcome.
Is it that easy though? Because I would have imagined it just being like second nature. You know, you just grab this arm to then like flip it over. I'd be like,
It can be a bit of a this is really red a bit, and you have to really, really think about what you're doing, because naturally you would just go, everything just goes to the left. But if you can just go to the right, but everything just kind of reverses. It's like working in a mirror.
Yeah, I think it would just kind of like, it would just blow again, you know, from this side, you know, it's just from a layman's point of view thinking about it. You know, it'd be like me trying to draw with my right hand or something, and I was like, no, that's just totally gone tits up. That's not right.
It is a bit like that. Is it just fucks with your head, and you're just like, okay, sound all right. Well, here now.
Crack on, let's do it. So obviously, yeah, Belgium's awesome as well. To be fair, I think it's one of those places I've always wanted to go. And again, from what I hear, you know, the fans are like just loud. You know, kayfabe is still very much a thing over there as well, or it was, you know, a few years ago, kind of thing. Again, I think it depends on the promotion. How did you find the fans over there? You know, were they kind of welcoming? Was they loud? Was they ruckus? Was it just like being back in Morecambe but in a different language?
A lot of them were swearing at me in English.
Job done.
Fuming with me, and they was like calling me every done, and I was like, all right, okay, I've got you now. That's it. I've won.
Right, exactly what I want. Yeah,
exactly.
It amazes me, you know, like how when people have got that skill, like so I did earlier. I'm not doing my Motor City machine gun thing. I'm just literally like, yeah, I'm playing. You know, you've got the ability just to have them in the palm of your hand. You can make them react however, whenever you want them to do, and that just that amazes me. Just to be able to be that comfortable at doing what you're doing and have that confidence, mate. I'll tip my hat.
I think it just comes with time and doing it, and it's the more you wrestle, the more you're in front of a crowd, the more I think it's just the same with anything. Like with a comedian or a singer or whatever, the more you do it, the more you play. I always think about Alex Turner and the Arctic Monkeys. I looked at him in 2006 when they headlined Leeds and Reading, and he's there in his trackies and his tatty top. Like 10 years later, when he's released AM, he's touring all over the world. Being confident in what you're doing and understanding your own character. I think that's a big thing. Like you've got to know who you are as a character and who you are when you wrestle.
Mentioned before, you know, you've been in a tag match against, you know, Santino. Obviously, been in a tag match with the Models, or you know, Joey Hayes and Danny Hope. Have you got a preference? I always like to pick people's brains on this. You know, do you prefer, obviously, given your character, it would be understandable you want the spotlight on you. It's all about you. But do you prefer working singles? Does working tag team offer you something different that you enjoy?
Yeah, it does. I used to be in a tag team for quite a while. Frontline. There's a few matches on YouTube if anyone wants to go find them. But me and my tag partner at the time, Jackson Clare, he packed in since college. I used to love tagging with him, but that was because we were like the best of mates, and I think it'd be hard to replicate that with somebody else now, because me and him still see each other all the time. We talk to each other every day, but he was just done with that side of everything. He was like, he got out of COVID. He went, "Hurt anymore? Walk in a straight line with no problems, and my knees are good again." And I was like, right, okay. So he was done, but I was tagging with him. It was great. But I think when I was younger as well, that I wanted to win a main title. I wanted to have that trust put in me. And now, as I've got older, again, I'd be like, I'd love if he came back, because it'd be fun to get to do it all again with him. Do you know what I always think is like, this is what Triple H and Shawn Michaels must have felt like in 2006. They were like, do you know what? It was dead for my head, wasn't it? It's just two different things. I think that's why it's hard to compare when you go, which ones you prefer, and I go, well, I like both.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard. You've got to build that like chemistry with someone as well to be able to be like, oh yeah, this is what we do. And that's why Act 2 are so good and quintessential as well, because they're real brothers, and they've been with each other since they were like we could walk, and FTM as well, and the models.
But it's kind of like, it's a question I like to ask because it helps me to like, basically what I'm saying is, do you like getting cheered or do you prefer getting booed?
Again, I'm gonna give you an answer where I go, it's all about the story you can tell, and I think that's the most exciting bit. It's like Wrestle Island, I'm cheered and I'm a good guy, but I started out as a bad guy, and people wanted to boo me, people wanted to see me lose, and then all of a sudden it was like they saw me stood at the merch table selling me t-shirts, talking to them and interacting, and then people build up a rapport, and now we speak to each other, and now they cheer me, but it's that journey you can take people on, like from me being like leader and then turning to the light and becoming Anakin Skywalker again. It's all them stories you can tell, like where can it go? Like in part about it.
That's it. I think that's the thing. Looking at the promotions again, that you've worked at, majority of them are very much story based. They're very, very good at telling stories, getting the fans invested emotionally, and I think that's got to be key. Like, so whether it's being as a good guy, being as a bad guy, if the fans are reacting to what you're doing, again, man, that must just be like one of the best feelings.
Yeah, no, that is when they're invested as much as you are. That's when you're like, this is why you do it. This is why what makes it fun. This is what makes you think of the times you sat at home watching it on TV and you were like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like Raw goes off the air and John Cena is bleeding from the face and is there his Money in the Bank briefcase or whatever at the time, but it's what you remember. It's these moments.
So you're definitely a moments over 5-star match kind of a person. Now, don't get me wrong, both are awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not missing one over the other, but like I said, wrestling, you remember the moments before you remember the 5-star matches.
I think so, because I love the series of matches like everybody does, Kenny Omega versus Okada. But one of the biggest things that stands out to me was where Okada went to Rainmaker Omega, he collapsed. And then in the 2 out of 3 falls match, Okada goes to Rainmaker him and he hits him, but then he collapses and Kenny's like up. And that was like one of my favourite matches is Shibata and Okada. And their story that they take you on in that match about Shibata just battering Okada and Okada refusing to give in. And he looks like he's on the verge of death. And he's like, no, I won't lose. And one of my favorite matches ever, and this is like controversial, I know it is, WrestleMania 19, Rock versus Austin, which is my favorite of the 3. Everyone says 17, but 19 is my favorite. Where Austin Rock will do anything to beat him because it's the one thing that he's never done, and that desperation is what makes the story. It's like, but it's the reverse of WrestleMania 17, where Austin would have done anything to win.
I can see that. A lot of people say 17 because 17 is deemed as being like the best Mania, but it was a good match. I'm of the few where I didn't like the ending. I didn't like Austin, the Vince, that killed the Attitude Era kind of thing. So, yeah, I prefer 19 because that made sense to me. Like I said, they went into that match with The Rock just needing to do anything and everything to win that match. It made sense. It told the story. It's also kind of sad as well because, that was Austin's last match. And obviously, old school rules, you look at the light in your last match to put the guy over ready for the next opponent kind of thing.
Yeah, you go out on your back, you go out on your shield, and that's the last thing you do. And it does set him up as well because he loses, and then Rock goes on and wrestles Bill Goldberg, and then he puts Bill Goldberg over for Triple H.
Yeah. Puts him over, then Triple H to be like, nope. But that's a whole different, like maybe.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that's a different. That's different. It's cool until Goldberg gets his head kicked in.
That's one of those conversations that you'll get people on either side. I love Trips. I love what he's doing now. I love his work ethic. But there was 2 or 3 years when the dude just seemed like, no, it's me. It's nobody else. Goldberg, Booker T, all suffered the wrath of Triple H over a couple of years.
I love Triple H though. Like it's hard for me to go, yeah, that was bad, but because I love Triple H, and I go, nah, it's alright. It was cool though.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like I said, prior to that is all good, but nothing but respect for him now. But yeah, so definitely a moments kind of thing. So if I was to kind of put you on the spot, if I was to say to you, you've obviously just named 3 moments. All right. I'm all about top 5s. Can you give me 2 more moments that would like level out your top 5 moments in wrestling?
Ever?
Yeah, you mentioned Shibata Okada. You mentioned Rock Austin. You've mentioned. So you've given me 3 already without thinking about it.
Yeah. See, because I've got like moments where I sit here and go, iconic thing that I watched on TV, and then I've got like one of my favorite moments in wrestling ever. I was 9 on my brother's shoulders at a house show in Birmingham, and Triple H came over and hugged me.
Wow.
And that personally, that's one of my top 5 moments in wrestling. But if we're going off like wrestling moments like
no, dude, that counts. That's
what we'll all remember for like. Does that count? That counts.
Yeah, that counts, mate. Yeah, that's fine. So one more.
One of the moments that was like a moment that was really like not informative, but like sticks with me to this day. I was like 2000. It was New Year's Revolution 2006, where Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank, and I was proper ill when I was little, and I woke up in the middle of the night. my brother was sat downstairs watching it on Sky, and I went downstairs because I thought it was going to be sick. Went downstairs and watched it, and remember Edge cashing in the Money in the Bank, and that moment was Cena bleeding and the elimination chamber coming up, and Vince going, "No, we're not done." One of my favourite moments ever.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And again, it's a story told well. It's just the fans I think it's like the Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, when he cashed in kind of thing. I think when stuff like that is done right,
yeah,
that's the moment you remember.
Opened up a real idea things this with me now, because I remember like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, how cool that was. Taking losing the streak, and I remember sitting in my room watching that, and I went entire house because he lost, and I went, "What the fuck?" Well, as I could.
That was one of the
Makes up.
It was just genuine. Like I said, I don't think anybody saw it coming. That is one of the genuine what the fuck moments.
The definition of what the fuck moment, because even in the build up to it, no one was going, "Oh yeah, I think that Brock Lesnar's going to win." And if you did, everyone was going, "You on about?"
Laughing at you. Have you ever seen the So I'll let you go in a minute, dude. I'll just while we're talking about this. Have you ever seen the Paul Heyman shoot interview where he's talking about Brock Lesnar beating Taker and like, what if it wasn't determined? What if Brock just did that on his own back, kind of thing? And it's obviously, as a fan, you're like, no. But then by the end of this interview, by the end of this chat, you sat there thinking like, oh shit, what if it was? What if Brock went into business for himself and just pin the Taker?
I love that because his reasoning for it is like you can completely buy into it, because he goes, "What are they going to do? Hire him? Hire the guy who's beat the streak? You're the win then, aren't you?" Yeah, no, that's. And I sat there and I went, he could sell your shit. He could give you a turn and go, "That's gold, mate," and you go. But by the end of the sales pitch, you'd be like, "Hey, no, that is gold. Here you go. Here's my money. Take my card. I'm sold."
So good, man. So good. I just like to mention that every now and again, because anybody who's into wrestling, anybody who's either watching it, learning it, you just listen to that story. And if you just want to be able to sell something, if you want to get a point across, that is what I don't even know. It's not even really a promo. It's just an interview, in it. But he works it so well that you just like, that is just, like you said, man, he's just gold. He could sell you anything and you're buying it at the end of that.
I love the fact that in so many documentaries that Paul Heyman's mentioned, whether it's the Punk one that they released, like, God knows how long ago now, or even the Paul Heyman one, where you'll just have so many people in this documentary going, "Yeah, you've got to be careful with Paul because he'll sell you anything." And I think it was Michael Hayes who says it on, I think it's the CM Punk one. He goes, "Yeah, we had to be careful what he was saying because he could have been telling us anything." I think Stephanie McMahon says the same thing as well, and you just sat there going, he could though, couldn't he? He could definitely con you out of your house if he was telling you he's going to live with you. By the end of him going, "I'm staying at your house," you'd be going,
Dude, just like, yeah, the amount of times you hear like, "Oh, we went up to Paul, we didn't like an idea," and then by the end of the conversation, we're walking away thinking it's a great idea, and we're doing something else as well on top of it. It's just like, what just happened? So he's just, I just think it's important that anybody needs to look how to talk or wants to learn how to talk, or just like the changes in the voice, the mannerisms, just how, I just think it's, that's one of those things everybody should watch.
Yeah, he's just great at everything. He is just a gifted talker.
So I think that's becoming more and more prominent, in the British right, this the last thing. I'll let you go in a minute, dude. Apologies, but I think obviously being able to cut a promo and stuff like that
Oh, it's fine. I'm having fun.
because of YouTube and stuff like that. You know, social media. I think the need to be able to cut a promo, you know, tell a story, is becoming more and more important. And I think obviously that's something you guys are having to learn or having to sort of adapt to. Because 10 years ago, promos probably weren't really that big of a deal in the British wrestling scene. There was no need for them. You just went on, had matches sorted. But now you guys are having to be able to cut a promo. So are you watching stuff like that, taking notes, or do you ever sort of practice your promo game?
Yeah, you've always got to. I've always got ideas in my head. But I find that watching, like, for me personally, when I've gone, oh, that's cool, or I'll steal that for a promo. It's never actual wrestlers. It's like I'll be watching funny moments of Liam Gallagher or something, and I'll go, oh, do you know what? That'd be good in a promo, that. Or I'll be watching, like, do you know what? I took a lot of inspiration when I first started doing my, like, first came up with everything. Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, and you go, let's go, we'll steal stuff of that, or just stuff. And I think the person in wrestling probably from promos I've stolen the most from would probably be The Rock, but that's because The Rock's my favorite ever. But it's usually things that aren't wrestling related you can steal from, like Razor Ramon. Isn't it?
Scarface, yeah.
Do you know what? Honestly, it's one of my things that I'll tell people when I've taken Wrestle Island. We've spoken about promos and things. It's take things from that aren't wrestling. Take things from something else.
I had this conversation with somebody, you know, like sort of said, just pulling inspiration from, you know, like bands, seeing bands live, or from films, or like say, yeah, you know, just anything, taking sources, because it'll feel unique then as well. You know, you're not going to feel like somebody who's just ripping off Austin, and you're not going to feel like somebody who's ripping off Triple H. You know, if you can pull inspiration from other forms of media, like the likelihood is it'll feel fresh for the wrestling fans.
Yeah, that's I find. Yeah, when I gigs or whatever, I look at people's stage presence. Like I love this example. Like, this is my go-to example for it. I'll go, like, Liam Gallagher. I've seen him live so many times, and not once have I ever gone. He does is he just walks out before he starts singing or anything. He just stands there and looks out at everyone, and everyone's like, "Fucking hell, he's well cool." Oh my! And all he's doing is standing there. He's done it every time I've seen him. He'll just stand there and he'll just stare out into the crowd, and you're just like, he is the coolest mother I've ever seen in my life. And he just stands there, and then I come back. I don't know what's because I keep mentioning it tonight. But Alex Turner, he'll do the weirdest shit, and you'll be like, why is he sat on a keyboard swinging his legs in the air? But then you go, I don't know, but it's fucking cool.
He makes it look good. That's why. Who are we to ask why when it looks so damn good?
That's what I end up doing. I end up doing random shit. I'll just be like, do you know what? Yeah, it's cool. That. Like, I walk down the camera, like, poor Ant, the editor, has to run backwards half the time because I'm talking down the camera and pointing at him, going, "Yeah, man, this is gonna be easy work, and this is like I'm the next like Wrestle Island champion or whatever," and he's there having to go like that, him down, just pointing down the camera, just chatting away at him.
Again, if you do it with the confidence, if you do it with that bravado, then, dude, it looks cool. Like you said, you know, Liam Gallagher just being stood there, you know, he's soaking it all in, and you know that he knows everybody's there to see him. All eyes are on him. He knows this, and that just makes it cool. The fact that he's just stood there, like without a care in the world, just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. That's what makes it cool.
No, it's exactly it. And I think a lot of bands, yeah, because you're like, he knows that you're there to see him, and he knows that he's there to put on a show, and he's like, yeah, I'm good at this, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm like fucking sick. And you're like, yeah, you are. And and that's a big thing. If you believe it, they'll believe it too.
Yeah. Projection. You got to project that character. You got to project that aura. And then, like you say, people just buy into it. People just absorb it and just believe it 100%. And then that's it. Job's done. Again, you've got them in the palm of your hand. Then, they are just waiting on every movement. They are waiting on every word. And they will just buy it as of when needed.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. And that's how the best people ever have made money. Like, best entertainers have made money just by getting you through that door and making you believe.
Definitely. Dude, just clock the time. I need to leave myself enough time to be able to edit all together. But mate, it has flown by. I think, about an hour and 20. So I will. I'll let you get going. I've kept you longer than I said I would. But plug your socials, dude. Where can people come and see your stuff? Where can they come and look at the show posters and things like that? So the tree doesn't fall down without making a noise.
Well, I'm pretty good at this, so I'll just so you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Lance_Revera. You can find me on Facebook, Lance Revera Playboy Prince, and I even have TikTok, and that's Lance_Revera as well.
Indeed, good old TikTok.
Oh, and I'm all over. I'm all over the YouTubes as well, and that's just Lance Revera.
Great. Well, obviously, anybody
YouTubes. I sound about
YouTube. Or the internet, or the World Wide Web.
I sounded like someone's nan. Count on that face shave, son. Go on.
Obviously, I'll tag you and stuff as well anyway. So if you're not following Lance, obviously, please do so. Show him some love. Go to a show, see what he does.
If you're not following Lance and you're listening to this, I think you've took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. If you're not following me and you're listening to this, or by the end of it, you're not following me either. You've really messed up.
That's it. And I would like to say maybe they're here to see me, but I know that's not the case. So it's definitely we'll strict that from the record. You will obviously already be following Lance, but if you're not following him on Instagram, head over to Insta and do it. Definitely follow him on TikTok, follow him on Facebook. Do the generic stuff you always do after watching a video. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that sort of stuff. And keep your eyes peeled. We've got a busy few months coming up, and there's a few more guests to be announced. But as always, thank you for watching. Lance, honestly, dude, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, no, thank you for having me.
It's been all good, dude. We will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.